friends. Hope you're doing well. So, I have continuing to mess around with the lights. This time we're doing blue and just blue. So it kind of makes like a black and white look, which is interesting. But we'll see if these lights can hold out for the whole video. I don't know. I haven't charged them. We'll see. I got backups though. So it's not an effect. It's just the actual lighting. It's fun. I do like this look. I've done some photo where I'll take like a company's colors and I'll do like a black and white, but it'll be like, their main color is like purple. I'll do like a purple and black, and it's I don't know, it has a fun look to it, especially when you add texture and grain and stuff over the top. And I guess you can see, wrong hand. You can see that my RGB, my gamer keyboard back there, so you can tell it's not a filter, I guess. But yeah, so I've just been continuing to ponder on what to do with this YouTube channel, and kind of what to just where I want to be in 5 years. And I keep coming back. The more I think about it, the more it's like I'm getting sick of client work, because it's just like it feels like a rapid decline in the quality of clients. And like, while I am getting paid more to do less work a lot of the time, like you can tell like you're getting better and better in your career when like you're doing less work, but you're commanding higher and higher paychecks. Just like I'm trying to think of the word for it. Is a lot of clients just don't have it together, and so like, yeah, a lot of the times I'm getting phone calls like week of, like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Can you come shoot? And it's like, yeah, that's fine if I'm doing nothing, but it also can be kind of stressful if you think about it. Like, if I'm fine with money, it's not too bad. But like, there are times when like it's like, oh man, I had surgery and then I had this medical bill and this medical bill, and it's like, okay, I owe the hospital like $3,000, which is kind of the situation I was in. And it's like, okay, I have all these invoices out and they're not getting paid, and it's like, and I put a hotel and a bunch of gas into that job, and so now it's like I basically give them an interest-free loan, and so it's like, it'd be really nice if you pay me that money. And so, you get those phone calls and you're like, yes, I would like to work, please. Because then you're like, okay, well, there's still money coming in. But then when you have, when you're starting to budget a little better, and I'm finally kind of getting my own shit together, financially speaking, and having debts paid off, and holding money and not being wildly irresponsible with money, it starts to kind of, you're like, okay, this is unprofessional, and it's hard to plan your life around that when you don't know what are you doing this week? It's like, well, I have nothing on the schedule, but that could change, and if it does, it's like, I'll take the work because I still like doing the actual work. It's just dealing with the clients that I don't like. And so what I'm finding, I end up working for clients that have like their whole year scheduled out, and I'm like, I like this a lot, and those people get my lowest rates, because it's like I get an email in January and they're like, this is what we're hiring you for. There might be more that comes, and things come up and they're like, hey, we need to drop this and add this, but it's usually still 30 to 60 days in advance. So every now and then you get like a last minute thing, and it's like, that's fine, because most of it is, you could kind of plan your life around your schedule, and it's great. And that said, it really seems like, well, maybe you should just get a job. And it's like, no, because I had a job and I gave everything to that job, and then I got fired, so the owner's kid could have my job. So it's like, well, I'm not doing that again. Like, it's a good thing it's good and bad. I learned early on, like, don't give yourself, if you're gonna put everything into a job, then you better be the one reaping all the rewards from it. So, jobs are out, that's just not happening. But what I could do is I could focus on just doing YouTube and try to make YouTube my full-time gig, which has an equal level of instability. But I figure if you stack, it's a bunch of toddlers in a trench coat. If you stack enough of them, you'll get into the movie theater. It's probably fine. So it's like, okay, well, that's kind of something I want to do in the next year. It's like, okay, I want to do this before I turn 40. It'd be nice to have a house. And I don't know if that's a realistic. I mean, it probably is. I don't know. I just don't. There's so many things. There's just like uncertainty. But I think the question I have that I'm not sure of is it easier to have 5 YouTube channels that each make, say, $1,000 a month, or is it easier to have one YouTube channel that makes $5,000 a month? And obviously, all your eggs in one basket seems like a bad idea, but also with the way my brain works, I feel like I get bored just doing one thing, and I really like being able to hop around. And the entire time my career in the image making business, for lack of a better term, I've just never been a specialist. I've never been a DP, or I was a photographer for like the first little bit, but then I pretty quickly, a year or two in, got into video as that became approachable, this is way back in 2011. Like, it was hard to do video in 2011, and then like video on DSLR started becoming more and more, like every DSLR that was coming out had video, and software started becoming a little more ubiquitous, and you could learn how to use it, and it really opened up a lot. And now it's like, okay, I do video, but I also do multiple jobs on video. So if I work on a video set, I could be the guy that's setting the lights, I could be the guy that's running sound, I could be the guy that's running camera, I could be the guy that's just pulling focus. I don't really do like assistant work anymore, just because I just don't get hired for that. But also, like, the bottom of the barrel assistant stuff it's often not great jobs and kind of abusive and long hours for low pay, and so it's like I don't need to. And I don't know. Then there's like camera assisting, which is the type of work I do is not on board with the camera assisting, and you get to know like one DP, and then their DP has like their first AC, and like that's kind of how it goes. So it's sort of a boys club to that degree, and I don't know. I don't get in that. I have tons of like people that hire me for stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like if you want to be a first AC, like you kind of have to like drill towards that and have, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. As I'm like hearing it come out of my mouth, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It's kind of like if you want to be the Travis Kelce to a Patrick Mahomes, you have to want to be the Travis Kelce to the Patrick Mahomes. You can't just be like, I just want to be a really good tight end. That analogy doesn't work. There's people that are better as assistants. Is that? I don't know. Yeah, but it takes a type of person, and apparently that type of person is not me. I've done the first AC thing a couple times, and I didn't really dig it because I think I'm pretty opinionated and I have ideas on how things should be shot, and so I would rather be the one holding the camera, and I would rather get paid less to hold the camera somewhere else than get paid more to work on bigger sets and just be told what to do. Because I feel, autonomy is super important to me. Once again, fuck jobs. Not doing that. So, back to the whole rigmarole is, does it make more sense to try to do 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or 5, who knows, different YouTube channels that were all each making a drip in the pot, and then the pot gets bigger, and then you also have investments, and then you still have the day job, as much as you could call it that, where I do freelance work, and you put it all together and that becomes something. But it starts to become consistent, and it would allow me to sort of like say no to things that aren't good fits for me. Because right now it's like a lot of the time it's like, oh, I just had surgery, and like, guess what, if you want someone to steal a bone out of your toe while you're awake, It costs, how much did I pay? About $2,400. So that's not too bad in the scheme of things. When they took the tip of my toe away, that was like $5,000. So $2,400 just for the one bone. Not too bad. But also the recovery process has been inconsistent. I had complications, and I still have the boot on. They told me I could kind of start working my way out of the boot now, but I can't just go back to a 12-hour day on my feet without the boot. So, but what I can do is sit and ramble at cameras for 12 hours a day, and then all that comes to me. You know what I mean? It's like it's all on me to do the work, but all on me to get the reward from it. And to that end, it's like, okay, well, having 5 different channels is sort of the worst way to do it, but also a better way to do it. I think what most people would tell you is you don't want to just have one YouTube channel where you just do whatever and there's like 80 different things happening, because there's no consistency and the algorithm doesn't know where to place you in people's feeds. And it's like, I'm not doing this for the algorithm, I'm doing it for myself. But it'd be nice if that also provided some sort of financial safety in the big scheme of things, that the work wasn't just for my own edification, which is fine if that's all it ends up being. But like, I am still a little ambitious, and while I don't need to have millions and millions of dollars, it would be nice to not have to worry about money, at least to a lesser degree that I currently do. I think about what happens if I got in a bad car wreck and my leg was broken, not just having a bone taken out where I could still walk with a boot. I could still work right now, I just have to wear the boot, and it just slows me down a little bit. But it's like, okay, well, what if I got into a real bad accident? So you see where I'm coming from. Anyway, this is another Spaghetti Junction video. Hot times at Spaghetti Junction with the Whisper guy. That'll be the title of the video. Anyway, yeah, so the 5 ideas, and it's like, okay, well, I want to do, I feel compelled to do ASMR, and then I don't know, I feel like having separate ASMR channels where it's like, okay, this one over here is for my, like, which is weird, I'm just gonna make some sound. Sounds, and then a different one for, like, I'm gonna talk about productivity, self-improvement, being a better person, that sort of thing. And then another one where I talk about movies, because I just watch way too many movies, and I'll do hand stuff on all of them. Hashtag hand stuff. Wow. Anyway. And then I still have the White Noise channel, and then maybe I do the Warhammer channel that I want to do, and it's like, okay, that's 5, and then I have a White Noise channel with my production company that we do together, and then I have the production company stuff, and then I have my own freelance photography stuff, and then it's like, okay, dude, you have a lot of things, and like between that Voltron lion, and that's kind of how I've always thought a responsible entrepreneur person should be. It should never just be one stream of income. I learned that early on. You can get fired from a job and it fucking sucks, especially if it's in a recession and no one's hiring, and you have no experience other than working this like super niche type of job, and you lose your job, and then that's just it, and your income's just gone. It's like, okay, well, I could get fired from individual jobs, and I can have clients choose to work with somebody else, but it's like, I can't be fired from my career unless I do something super heinous and fucked up, which, based off past trends, I don't really plan on doing, I don't intend to do. And if it ends up I go to jail for something, well, I'll have bigger problems to worry about than if my clients will still hire me or not. Maybe when I get out of jail. But I don't see what could possibly happen for that to happen. But I digress. Yeah. So that's the question. That's the bet, is, do I try to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks? Or do I just take what is already working and go full steam at that, and then just do this silly thing for fun? Which I like doing silly. Silly's great, and people watch it. So you get something out of it, and I you know what I mean? There is this push and pull when you're a creator of like doing stuff for yourself that makes you happy, but also like realizing that people are choosing to spend their time to interact with this content, to watch it, and to at least turn it on in the background when they fall asleep, which is kind of always been the goal. Is like, okay, how do I make you fall asleep with my dumb bullshit? But could I also inspire you? And I don't, there's so many things that I like want to put into the world, because the world is full of bastards, and I'm sick of seeing it, I'm sick of hearing it, and it's like, I want to do something about that. And so it's like, okay, I like whispering, it's fun. It's, I don't know, something about this works for me. And I don't want to, you know what I mean? I like talking about movies, so it's like, okay, I like whispering, I like talking about movies, that's great. I like improvement stuff, but what I don't like about a lot of improvement stuff is how, like, alpha male bullshit, super, like, they are about everything, and I don't like that. So it's like, oh, okay, doing a whispering channel where you talk about that shit is the opposite, and you can have authenticity. A lot of those people are not authentic at all. You've got people like Ty Lopez that are like, this is my Lamborghini or whatever, and maybe he has a Lamborghini, he probably does, I don't know, but it just does, like, that doesn't feel approachable to me. That's like, listen to me because I have a car, and it's like, well, they sell those to anybody, dude. Like, yeah, like, it's a very expensive car, and that's lovely for you that you have that, but like, that, it's I have trouble taking those people seriously because their advice is not grounded in a reality of, like, they're like, just keep, the more at-bats you have, the better. And it's like, okay, you can learn stuff from that, but like, your at-bat, if you already have tons of resources, it costs you nothing to keep swinging. You think about carnival games, if you pay enough money, eventually you'll win a prize. But if you only have enough money to get 2 or 3 attempts, like, you might not get that prize. And so I would like to make something that talks more down to that level. And then I just also want to talk about Warhammer shit, because I like playing Warhammer, it's fun. And it's like, okay, well, I think a lot of the channels out there for Warhammer aren't great, and there could be more interesting content out there done well. There's a couple that are really fun. There's a channel called Play on Tabletop. If you want to see what, like, good Warhammer content could look like, yeah. So I feel this burning, and it's like, I want to do it. I want to do things. I want to make stuff, and I just don't. You know what I don't know. I don't know. I'm just rambling at the camera. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because that's kind of how I've always been. It's like quantity and throwing shit at the wall. It seems to work for me. So I think I'm gonna keep doing that. I think I figured it out. I think I'm just gonna reinvigorate, and but I still need to figure out what to do with this channel. I still don't know what to do with this channel. It's like, okay, well, if I splinter off these other things, great, fine, great, you know what I mean? But what happens here? And it's like, so I could do life updates, and that's fine. I could also just complain about stuff, because people seem to like it when I complain. And I don't know if it's just the negativity bias, but I do see the stats that I get more views and longer watch time when I just complain about stuff. And I don't know if people just can relate to that. And I don't know do you want me to complain? Is that, because I feel weird watching, I get turned off watching other people complaining, but I love to complain. I'll complain all fucking day. Like, believe me, I got problems. And so, I don't know, I figured maybe I could split off into, like, different video series. It's a series of series. Series squared. And then it's like, on Monday I'm gonna complain, and on Tuesday I'm gonna make a video where I don't talk and I just make sounds. And on Wednesday, who knows? That could be something or other. it is a couple days into October, a week into October, a little over a week into October, and it's getting close to goal setting time. So start thinking about your goals, because we're going to be talking about goals on this channel, and probably on my other channel about improving yourself. So if you're interested in that and you want to just see my whole, I'm going to start putting links in descriptions, like ASMR Empire, wow, this dumb idiot that whispers, yeah, and all different color lights. Also need some lamps. I need cool lamps in the background. All the YouTubers have cool lamps, and I don't have enough space to have cool lamps. This room is, I need to do like an apartment tour, and if you saw how I live, you'd be like, Jesus, buddy, you need some help. Because I need to get like a professional organizer in here. But I'm always like, we're not gonna live here for like one more year. But it's like, okay, well, we'll probably live here for at least one more year, and maybe two. Who knows? And it's like, okay, well, if you know you're living here for 2 more years, then get an organizer to come in and help you with this shit. But if it's like, okay, well, maybe if I put in a ton of effort, we'll be gone and we'll go month to month. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. Could, maybe. I don't know. If I had no debt and I could actually start putting a meaningful amount of savings into a down payment, could happen. But also, the houses we want are so expensive, relatively speaking, because they're not that. It's the same house in California would probably cost $1 million. In here in Omaha, it only costs like $350,000, which is obviously a lot less. So it's more realistic, but I don't know. Wishful thinking. That's it. So I think we learned something today. We untangled a piece of spaghetti, and we're getting closer to what the next year is gonna be, and it's gonna be a lot of whispering, because I'm sick of sitting on the couch and watching the hours go by. Which I'm gonna make another video about this, but I saw a reel, and it was like the best somebody's ever put it. It was kind of like a fake news report, and it was like a fake documentary news report, sort of. You've seen those like news reports that are kind of more like documentaries. Think about like Vice, and it was just like interviewing people. I'd be like, what's it like to volunteer your time for these giant tech companies? And you're like, yeah, it's kind of what you're doing. And obviously they were way more eloquent about it, but more and more I've been catching myself sitting on Facebook and scrolling and being like, I'm volunteering my time for Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm fucking sick of it. And part of the goals this year was to lower my screen time, and I've been doing pretty good, everything considered, with all of what's going on. I've been doing a pretty good job, not just being stuck in doom scrolling, but I'm still doing it way more than I want to be doing it. So I want to be doing something else, making things, getting away from the doom, because it doesn't help me. It doesn't. None of that. It helps me, and I'm not helping anything out there by staying on this. At least this is maybe, if it gets to one person and they can do a little thing and that makes their life a tiny bit better, then that's great, because that's what I'm always chasing on these, is finding things that like improve my life. And I do, but they get fewer and fewer in between, and it's more and more just spam for, adult content and politics. Stay engaged. Watch the screen. Here's an ad. You know what I mean? And I'm just done with it. So cool. I hope you're done with it too. Let's make 2026 an even better year than 2025 was. We'll set some goals. Start thinking about your goals. We're gonna do some goal setting sometime soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't know why I did this. This shows how old I am. I'm so old now. Hello, fellow kids. Or goodbye, fellow kids. Thanks for watching. See you next time.